Okay, here we go. Tour mode in the gold screen. This is the default setting for tour mode, and it has 4 sub-menus. So you have trip A or 1, trip B 2, third menu gives you that information, and then on the 4th menu it gives you some functionality to change the traction control and the wheelie control. So at this point you could push the enter button on your handlebars and it highlights the traction control, which then you can go up or down to whatever level you want. You can also, from level 1, hold the button to the left and it will zero the traction control. So at that point the traction control is off. And likewise with the wheelie control, you can change it from 1 through 3. 3 being the most invasive, I suppose you would say. So the most level of wheelie control, down to 1, and then if we hold to the left it will zero it, so the wheelie control is off altogether. Okay, so what we will do now is I will put it back on and put it onto 3, page up to the traction control and put it to 7 for on-road use. You can also see that the power is set to 1, which is the most, and the engine braking is set to 2. Both power and engine braking are non-adjustable in this mode and this screen, and you can see that the ABS icon there shows it's on-road ABS. Okay, here we have the urban mode. Again, very similar to the tour mode. So it has the sub-menu 1 through 4. So again, the trip A info, the trip B info, the motorcycle information, and then the 4th menu, which gives you the functionality. Again, all you can change in the urban mode is the traction control and the wheelie control. You will note that the power and the engine braking is set in urban mode, so the power is set at 2 and the engine braking is the same as tour mode, set at 2 also, and the ABS icon is set to on-road. Okay, so here we have the default screen for gravel mode, which is the silver screen. So it's a little bit different. It doesn't have the sub-menus 1 through 4, and so you lose a little bit of functionality. You will see that the power setting is set at 4, which is the smoothest or least amount of power coming through. Engine braking is set at 3, which is the weakest setting for the engine braking, and the traction control is set full on, and the ABS icon shows off-road. Now you can use from your hand controls the favorite button and it will alter the traction control. Okay, if you want to alter the wheelie control like we did in the previous 2 modes on the gold screen, what you need to do is change the default setting gravel mode screen from silver to gold. So we will go ahead and do that now. Okay, so that's the screen we're looking for, which is the gold screen, and we will come back from there. rider information, and there we have the gold screen. So as you can see, we have the sub menu with the 4 pages, trip A, trip B, motorcycle information, and the functionality page. So at this one we can again push enter on your hand controls, and we can alter the traction control up and down and turn it off if that's what we want, and we can do the wheelie control. We cannot change the power or the engine braking settings in gravel mode. Right, here we have the off-road default setting, which is shows pretty much just a rev counter, the power setting, and the traction control. So the power level is set at 3, so it's 1 back from the full quietest mode, I suppose you would say, or the least aggressive mode being 4, and the traction control. So at this point, the only thing that we can alter on this screen is with the favorite button, and we can alter the traction control. So to further get more functionality and set the bike up the way we would like, we need to change the screen to the gold screen, which we will go ahead and do now. So as you can see, it shows off-road, and we will change it to the gold screen. Return out of that, and there we have it. So across the bottom we have the power setting, the engine brake, traction control, ABS icon, off-road mode. So if we push, so in menu number 4, if we push the enter button, it does give us the ability to turn the ABS off. So at the moment it says active, so ABS is active, so we wish to cancel that. It brings this screen up, you push yes, and it's off. My understanding is that it is only off to the rear. I do not believe at this stage, I haven't been able to work it out, or if there is a way to do it, to be able to turn the ABS off to the front wheel. And okay, from that we can page down and do the traction control, wheelie control. So a little bit more level of functionality in the off-road mode. So in off-road you can set your wheelie control and your traction control to what you like and run without rear ABS intervention, I suppose you'd say. So it gives you the ability to lock the back wheel if needed. Okay, so here we have User1 Mode, so you can set the bike up and customize it a little bit more for your own riding style or the terrain perhaps that you're going to ride on. So with this screen, and this is the default screen for User1 Mode, I think, not that it really matters, but this is the bronze screen, so there's not very much functionality on the screen, so really you need to be on the gold screen. So we will change to the gold screen. There we have the gold screen. Return back out of that, return back out of that, rider, and right, so there we have it. So again, the sub menus 1, 2, 3 and 4. 4 is the one that we're interested in here. So if we push the enter button, it shows there that the ABS is active, so we can come across, turn the ABS off. Right, we're going to page down. I'm going to turn the traction control completely off because I'm setting User1 up for off-road. So traction control is completely off. Wheelie control, 1 is the least, but if you hold it to the left it will 0. Okay, so that's where we want those settings. The ABS icon shows off-road, but we do know by looking at ABS it says cancel, so the ABS is off to the back wheel. Traction control where it is, right. So the other thing is, if I want less power at the moment in that User1, I've got full power and I have full engine braking. So if I want to mellow out the power in the engine braking, we need to go to in and change that within the user mode. So what we'll do is we'll go into there, go into settings, we go into function, user modes, User1, and there we have it. So we can mellow the power out and take it back to 4, so we have the mellowest amount of power for the off-road setting, page down, and we will give it the most engine braking. Is that correct? 3 being, sorry, got that the wrong way around. 3 being the least amount of engine braking. So I will actually leave it on 1. Okay, the ABS off-road or on-road, because I'm going to have this as set up as an off-road, User1 as off-road, and I probably will set User2 as on-road. All that does is actually show you what the icon is. It does not actually tell you. It does, by changing that, it doesn't change it from an off-road to an on-road ABS. Okay, so we'll go back from there, back, writing information. Right, so there you can see we have the mellowest amount of power, and we have the most amount of engine braking, and traction control is set off, wheelie control set off, ABS says off-road, but really that is irrelevant because we know that the ABS RR is cancel. So if we start the bike, we'll start the bike. Okay, so everything's good there. Now what we'll do is I will turn the bike off at the kill switch. So you can see there, when you turn it off at the kill switch, it retains the settings. Yeah, so now what we will do is I will turn the bike off at the key and turn it back on again, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so what you can see there has happened. Whenever you turn the bike off or on, whatever mode you were in, it will come back to that mode. So we were in User1 mode, right? So it's brought us back to User1 mode, but it does not hold the settings that we had. It has held the power setting and it's held the engine brake setting, but it will not hold the ABS, the traction control, and the wheelie setting. So every time you turn it off at the key and back on again, you will have to change that. So we'll go ahead and do that now and put it back to it so it's there. Okay, so the ABS is off. If we want to change it back to 0 like I previously had, hold it to the left at zeros, come down, hold it to the left, zeros. So that is a little bit of a pain, but I suppose it's a safety issue or a safety factor that they've put into the bike.